This is a test of the City of Palaca audio system.
Pastor Mulberry,
Yes, sir.
we'll start with you if you don't mind, if you all rise for the invocation. Mr. Burnett will do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, I got Pastor Mulberry is going to do the invocation.
Father, again, we thank you for another day. We thank you for your goodness right now. Pray, God, that you will bless this constituents. Guidance. Give them wisdom, God, in their decision making. We pray, God, that you will give us, Lord, what is necessary to move this city forward for your good pleasure. It is in Jesus' name we pray. Thank God. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor.
Bless you, sir.
Ms. Krantz, you want to call the roll call?
Thank you. Caitlin Owens is not present for the record. Edie Wilson.
Here.
Thank you. George Deloach is not present for the record. Mr. Barnes is not present for the record. Earl Wallace.
Here.
Thank you. Andrew Burnett.
Here.
Chair Ed Philibert.
Here.
Thank you. You have a quorum, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I will now read the appeals and ex parte. Any person wishing to appeal any decision made by the planning board with respect to any matter considered at such meeting will need a record of proceedings, and for such purpose may need to ensure that verbatim record of the proceedings is made, which record includes the testimony and evidence upon which the appeal is to be based. Florida Statute 286.0105. Can I have an approval of the meeting of the minutes? Motion?
I motion to approve the minutes from September 3rd, 2024.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
There is a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Seeing none, we will move on. Public comments. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes, and understand there'll be no action taken or on these items that are brought up during public comments. Is there anybody that would like to speak to the board? Seeing none, we'll move on. We're going to go to regular business, PB case 24-21. Request to rezone an existing commercial property from general commercial C1 to intense commercial C2.
Mr. Chair. Renee Brown is going to make the presentation for the staff report.
Okay,
And this is the first time she's going to be addressing you as a planner and presenting a case. So be gentle, please.
Thank you, Director.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm presenting the request for a rezone of 1.37 acres, parcel on 110 South State Road 19. The request to change the existing zoning from general commercial C1 to intensive commercial C2. The property is currently within the city limits of Palatka, the site of the former Woody's Barbecue Restaurant. This is a corner lot bounded by St. John's Avenue to the north and South State Road 19 to the east. Surrounding parcels include both C1 and C2 zonings. The future land use is designated commercial. The parcel is proposed to develop with a drive-up APA, kiosk for the Bank of America, per section 94-149, 7. Bank and financial institutions with drive-in facilities are permitted in the C2 zoning district, but not in the C1. Public notice was issued by the city, including the legal advertisements in the Palatka Daily News, property postings, and mailed notices to property owners within 100 feet of the subject property. The request meets all the standards for rezoning set forth in the code, and therefore the staff recommends approval. The applicant is present. If there is any questions that you have.
Okay, thank you. Walton, you want to speak?
Questions?
Has anybody got any questions of Mr. Palacier, Ms. Garris? Okay. Seeing none, move on through that to anybody in the public wants to speak to it towards this, for or against? Seeing none, we'll move through that. Bring it back to the board. Is there any questions or discussion the board wants to have, or do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion that we uphold the staff recommendation to rezone from City of Palaca General Commercial C1 to City of Palaca Intensive Commercial C2.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Seeing none, motion passes. Granted. Now we'll move on to PB case 24-23. Request for approval of planned unit development application. 00 McLaury Drive and 6200 St. John's Avenue. You gonna throw that one at us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Before I start with the start report, I need to get clarification here in the package that you have. Since the report was written, the applicant has submitted addressing some of the issues that I had pointed out in the report. We have a copy of the things that were submitted to us that the clerk has, and these later submitted by the applicant address some of the concerns that I had and some of the conditions. So when it comes to the recommendation for approval, I will release some of the conditions that is in your staff report.
Okay.
As you pointed out, Mr. Chair, this is an application for a planned unit development. And there are two combined parcels with total 31 acres. One parcel is the one that fronts St. John's Avenue, and it's 6.67 acres, and the other parcel is fronting McLaury Drive, it's 24.33 acres. If you remember, this item was in front of you for annexation, for a future land use amendment, and for rezoning about a couple months ago. Since then, went to the city commission, which recently approved that request for the annexation, the future land use, and the rezoning. The parcel is now rezoned to residential 3 with an overlay planned unit development. The applicant intends to develop these parcels as I said, as a planned unit development with up to 248 townhome dwelling units, which yields at a maximum density of 8 units per acre. We have reviewed the PUD, again, the standard that is set forth in the code. That is section 94-233. And based on our review of each of these standards, which is cited in the staff report, we are recommending that the application be, the request be approved, that you recommend this to the city commission for consideration and action. In the staff recommendation, like I said before, I have attached certain conditions of approval. But since then, they have resolved those issues. The first one is the site plan submitted. The first condition was that the site plan submitted should include provision for open space. The applicant since then has submitted an open space plan that satisfies the requirement for the standard of a PUD. The second item, the site plan request that depicts the location of any and all underground utility systems appurtenance that have to be overground, that have to show how they're going to be screened. That has not been submitted yet, and that will state as a condition that had to be satisfied before it goes to the planning, to the city commission.
Back up
Condition,
and say that again, please. I'm sorry.
yeah, there's a requirement in the standard for the PUD that all utilities have to be underground,
Yes, sir.
but there are some appurtenances that are above ground, and those required to be screened.
Okay,
Site plan submitted hasn't showed that yet.
okay.
So that has to be satisfied before it goes to the city commission. Condition number 3, that the requirement for a parking site plan depicting the location, the required number of parking spaces, and the loading spaces. That has been satisfied. They have submitted a site plan indicating the number of parking spaces and the location of those parking spaces.
So that's been satisfied.
That has been satisfied,
1 and
exactly.
3 has been satisfied.
Correct. Number 4. The condition was that the applicant must submit legal opinion by attorney representing the applicant as to the right of the application, of the applicant to establish covenant and restrictions on the land. That has not been submitted yet. So that condition will stay. Condition number 5, traffic study was submitted and it was prepared by a licensed engineer in Florida as required. So that condition has been satisfied. Condition number 6, we wanted to have more details about the phasing, and the applicant has then submitted a site plan indicating the 2 phases of the project. So that condition has been satisfied. The last one was, we have required a recreation area to be depicted in the site plan. And I have to clarify, this is not a requirement of the PUD standard. However, we believe that a development of this nature with so many units, it required recreation areas. 248 units, it's going to be a lot of children. So we need spaces for the children. And the applicant has then submitted a site plan indicated at least 2 recreation areas. So that condition has also been satisfied. So to summarize, staff is recommending approval subject to 2 conditions. Condition number 1 would be the site plan shall depict location of any and all underground utility systems, appurtenance that will be overgrown and how they will be properly screened. And condition number 2, applicant must submit legal opinion by attorney representing the applicant as to the right of the applicant to establish covenants and restrictions on the land. I have also have to point it out that there is a requirement for unified control on this land for the PUD. And that condition has to be satisfied by the city attorney. We have to be satisfied to the satisfaction of the city attorney. And they've been working with the city attorney on that issue. And I believe it's going to be satisfied before we go to the city commission. So the next phase for this evaluation would be to go to the city commission on December 12th for the first hearing, and then we'll require a second hearing, which will be in January. And after that, the applicant has to go through the process of obtaining building permits, and most likely a plat will be submitted at that time. And that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, the applicant is here. In case you have any questions for the applicant, she's here to represent the property owners.
Thank you. Does anybody on the board have any questions of the director? Okay,
Thank you.
the applicant. You. Please state your name and address for the record, please.
Shalene Estes, 14785 Old St. Augustine Road, Jacksonville.
Thank you. Anybody on the board have any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Hi, these units are for sale or for rent?
Yes, ma'am. They're fee
They're-
simple for sale.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
and what the plan is, where will they start? Price wise?
Well, so I don't know. I might have said this in our prior meeting. It's one thing that I don't usually put out there because it's usually market driven. And so
Right, I
I
understand.
would hate for anybody to ever come back and say, well, Shalene, you said.
No.
So I don't typically throw anything out there because we don't know. Now, a townhome these days, some, can run from 250 to 350. So anywhere in that range, but
Okay.
I don't know what the market would look like when the time. came.
Exactly. I'm a real estate agent. That's what I
Yeah.
was just wondering,
Okay.
where were we at in
Yes.
between? Okay,
Yes.
got it.
So. Anybody else?
Any further, Earl, you got any questions?
Yeah, maybe now, maybe later.
Sure.
Is your microphone on, Mr. Wallace?
Good job.
I'll take you back.
One job.
I'd like to see, along with the playground or play area, natural area, whatever, I'd like to see some more trees here. Which, is that gonna be part of your presentation?
Well,
Landscaping?
I can answer that question. So we have done our tree survey and there is a tremendous amount of preservation on the site because there is a tremendous wetland to the west of the site. So that entire area will be protected. Existing trees that are over a certain size, I don't remember off the top of my head what the code requires as far as a certain size tree to be saved, if it's possible for it to be saved or mitigated for it, which we will do as well. So right now, we're working with Janet Whitman to work through our plan and see where she can do some of that. The landscape sheets that you have seen are a minimum plan right now that she has put on the site.
Yeah, so we're not gonna get anything extra there then, besides the minimum.
Well, that's not necessarily true. Our hope is to be able to save certain areas of, trees that are existing because the southern portion of the property of the south parcel was a timber business. So a lot of those trees have already been timbered. The north parcel, we plan on trying to keep. There's a rather large area near where the lift station is in the northern pond and those areas that we intend on saving some of that because of that reason.
But all of this is still to be negotiated between the city and y'all with the PUD.
Well, yes, I mean, to be frank, yes. However, I do know that right now we're working on that tree survey with ETM to work through those details to try to salvage some of those areas. And then once we finalize that tree survey plan with them, that will go over to Janet and then Janet will include that on her plan.
As long as we get more.
Yes, sir.
You good?
For right now.
Last 1 minute. Burnett, you have any questions? Mr. Barnes, Ms. Wilson.
Okay, I have another question.
Yes, ma'am.
So is there going to be, the egress is going to be, or ingress is going to be off of St. John's?
Yes, ma'am. We're keeping part of McClory Drive open. I mean,
Okay.
that is a dirt road as it is right now,
Mhm.
that the county owns. And in order for those north parcels that we do not own and are not part of this to have access, that is remaining open.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Any further question? Yes, sir, Mr. Kim.
No, I'm good.
Well, you started to say something, huh?
I did, but I changed my mind.
Okay. Well,
I can do that.
yes, you can very quickly.
He's 80 now. He can do it.
So, okay. Well, no further questions of you, I don't think. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there anybody in the public that would like to speak for or against this? Come and state your name and your address, please, sir.
Gary Nielsen, Nilsson, 6104, 6110 Fourth Manor West. And my property, I believe the new development is going to back up somewhere close to my property. And I've talked to Lorenzo, I'll just call you first.
Yes.
few months ago, if you remember, I was
Yeah,
in
we
your
did.
office and we weren't really sure what was going on then. And then I got the letter in the mail about today.
That's correct.
And I just wanted to know about where it's going in, how far back it's going to go. And I'm speaking for everyone in my cul-de-sac. I live in cul-de-sac. And I'm speaking for everyone on that street. A few of them couldn't come today, so I went ahead and came for them. I'm gonna speak for them. And a couple of questions have been answered when I was sitting back there about what type of housing it's going to be. It's not low housing, am I right? It's going to be houses, not apartments or townhomes, which is okay. Okay, townhomes, but it is not low income. Okay. You said 248? 248. About where is this going to come in at? I can show you on a map about where I live.
Hang on just a minute.
And-
Hang on, I'm gonna get to that question, Gary. You need to speak to us.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, I'm
okay.
just saying that's where the board
Okay,
is
okay.
your
Yeah,
audience.
I just want to know about
And,
where it's coming in and how far it's going to be from our property.
Ms. Krantz,
the
is there
back.
any way you can pull that up on the TV, please? On the screen?
Yeah. Mr. Chair, can I address just part of what he's questioning?
Yes, sir.
The main access for this development is going to be from St. John's.
Right. I know that.
So, and I think they're going to use,
But
By
where
glory.
at St. John's, how far down? It's in between Viking Manor and the
Is
cutoff
it?
to the hospital.
yeah, we'll,
sitting
we'll,
there somewhere.
we'll
I'm
show
sure.
you, yes.
Isn't it gonna be between Carriage Gates and Holly Ridge?
Yes.
And then where it's coming in at?
Do you have the site? Do you have the site plan? Oh, in the package, you know, wherever it shows the site plan.
May I stop his timer, Mr. Chair? It's fixing to go off.
Yes.
Sorry. Just so we don't hear that.
The parcel map that you had up there will show, that'll show us your answer to his question.
Yeah, the location.
Yeah,
The pink part there.
and drag it down some.
Yeah, you
So
can
you
show
can
them.
see
that.
St. John's Avenue.
There you go.
Can you enlarge that a bit?
Can you expand a little bit?
That's good.
Yeah.
So this going, Mr. Nielsen, to answer your question, it's gonna come right up to the back of where you live at,
Okay, I'm on Fourth Manor,
right?
west. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be.
Well, no, Second Manor West, Third Man and Viking Boulevard. Yeah, it's gonna be right there.
Okay, I know that's a big area there. There's a lot of golf balls out there too that I see. I'll let you know ahead of time.
There is.
Yeah. Always about 1,000. But how far will I guess the houses will be facing St. John's Avenue, right? And the back of them would be, no? No, okay.
They're gonna be facing west.
Oh, they'll be facing west, okay. So coming in this way, yeah. No, that way, I'm sorry. It's west.
I can show you the site plan after the item. Yeah, exactly.
And actually, the entrance to it, go back to where you were at, please.
Sorry, I was
Sonny?
gonna scroll to see if I can find what she's handing.
The entrance will be between Holly Ridge and the doctor's offices. I said between Carriage Gates and Holly Ridge. Am I right?
If I can help a little, it's probably about 150 feet from the property boundary inward. So from the property boundary right here to the access is about 150 feet.
Okay, so you're saying that the townhomes will be 150 feet away from where he's worried about?
No, sir, I'm talking about the ingress egress.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
What are the setbacks, say from his property?
Yeah,
line?
that's on the setback. There's a lot of places, that going toward north, I guess it is, to Third and Second, Fort Matter, there's no fence.
It would
I do
be-
have a fence in the back of my house. That's what I was gonna ask.
I'm
also.
sorry, it will be 40 feet from the property line to the unit, to the building, of the townhouse.
Okay.
That answer your question any at all, or are you still waiting or what?
Yeah, well, the fence, are you guys going to put up any
Yes.
type of, okay, it's gonna be, you said 40 foot?
Yeah, 40.4.
Okay, and what type of fence would this be?
Usually vinyl.
Okay. All right, okay,
We still have to review this, Mr.
yeah,
Chair.
I know this is.
We still have to review this when it goes for building permit.
Right.
And that's where we're gonna get really in the real details of setbacks and things like that, of that nature.
Okay.
So,
And
Make
we'll know,
perfect
we'll
sense.
know more in December, right? You're gonna have, your next meeting's gonna be in December? Or?
for the city commission, and then,
Yes, after that.
and after that, they have to go for the building permit.
Right,
And
exactly.
that's where we're gonna get into,
Okay.
the
And
gritty
I'll-
meat of
I'll
the
receive
detail.
something in the mail,
Yes,
like I have been. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I can ask. Okay. Just.
we'll
kinda
keep you
curious.
posted.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Newsom.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else in the public? Yes, Ms. Allegra?
Allegra Kitchens, 1027 South 12th Street, Palatka, Florida. I'm either for or against the PUD, but I have a question. I know from a emergency vehicle standpoint, that you have to have more than one egress and ingress. You can't have the same way in and way out, just one way in and a way out. You have to have it one way in and one way out. You have to have two different ways in and out for emergency vehicles. And I wonder if that's been taken into consideration. I know they talk about McGlory, which they said is a dirt road at a certain point. Is that adequate for emergency vehicles as a second way in and out? My only question. Thank you.
Want to answer that, please, ma'am?
Yes, sir. I can. So we are, if Sunny could bring the site plan back up, I can show you. We are improving that southern portion of McClory Drive and the actual site plan. Can you pull up the one that I had sent? Sure.
There,
It
that
just
one.
might be easier.
You want this one or you want the one?
Lorenzo.
I'm sorry?
You're saying this one, but she's saying to go to my email, the one she sent me. Would you like?
Yeah, the ones you sent to, yes.
Okay.
But in short, we're improving the southern portion of McClory Road or McClory Drive to be able to handle any access that might be necessary for.
I understood that with what you were saying.
Yes. As you can see down there, we're not improving beyond that because of that wetland that's there. We want to conserve the wetland that's actually there, so. The
Okay.
dirt road will maintain from beyond that point, but
So we're actually coming from St. John's Avenue in the north and coming around this way back down to McClory and south right here on the left-hand side. Is that correct? What I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll pull this back to the board. What is the board's pleasure?
Yeah.
Mr. Burnett? Mr. Wallace? Mr. Moore?
Pre-read, and I don't have any questions.
Okay. So can we have a motion?
Wait, I don't feel right. moving.
As part of this motion, I would like to be put in, for your negotiation, that we get more trees.
Make the motion, Mr. Wallace.
Well, no, I'm not going to.
Okay.
Because the trees is this department,
I understand.
not mine.
What do you want? What do you want for more
I
trees?
don't object to the whole project, but I just want more trees. Because we got a whole bunch of townhomes and it'll be a lot nicer with trees.
I think, Mr. Wallace, you're seeking a motion for approval of the PUD overlay with the condition that it include additional trees on the landscape plan.
As part, but I'm not gonna make the motion, but I'd like that to be part of it.
Two. 22.
Is that a motion?
Um,
No?
Mr. Chair, just a
Was it-
friendly reminder.
Yes,
Yeah, no, when you made a motion, just to include, the two conditions
right.
for the approval, that's all.
I understand. I'm just waiting on the motion.
Yeah.
I can't make the motion from here.
I know.
Come on, guys.
I'll
What-
do my best. I'll make approval, I'll make a motion for the approval of the plan unit development with the staff recommended exemptions of the site plan having to depict location of any and all underground utility system accoutrements that will be overground and how they will be properly screened. And the applicant must submit legal opinion by attorney representing the applicant as to the right of the applicant to establish covenants and restrictions on the land. And for the staff to meet with the developer to look at additional trees being on the site plan they submit in the future.
Have a motion to have a second.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, any further discussion?
One question.
Yes, sir.
He said with the exemption of the two cited things, do we need to correct that one word?
Conditions.
Okay, the conditions. Thank you.
You want to correct your motion? I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll make the motion to request approval of the planned unit development
You don't have to
with the
repeat it.
conditions,
I'm sorry.
with the conditions that the site plan shall depict location of any and all underground utility systems, accoutrements that will be overground and how they will be properly screened. Applicant must also submit legal opinion by attorney representing the applicant as to the right of the applicant to establish covenants and restrictions on the land, and for the staff to work with the developer to look at having additional trees on the property.
Do you still second, Ms. Wilson?
Yes, I second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, seeing none, motion passes. There's no further business to be taken before the board?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm
We
sorry, Mr. Chair.
Ma'am, I'm sorry.
Before, I'd like to introduce also, I already introduced Ryan, but, I want to do it again. Ryan's our new planner. And I also want to introduce Alex Romero, who is our planning clerk. Is going to be overtaking these meetings in the future. And I'm very happy, that finally we have a full staff in the planning department.
That's good.
Yes, yeah.
Congratulations. We have a blue truck outside that needs to be moved. They're painting around it. Mine's in the middle of the street, so that can't be mine. I'm sorry?
It's a great truck.
Against, yeah.
Okay.
Hang on, we're fixing to close the business down, okay? Seeing no further business, to have a motion for adjournment.
Move we adjourn.
So moved. We are adjourned.
Thank you.